The movie begins with a somber and cryptic tone as the protagonist, Christian Habersaw, an aged and soon-to-retire police officer, becomes central to a tragic and mysterious event. During his retirement party, Christian delivers a reflective speech about the motivations behind police work, emphasizing justice and loyalty. However, the event takes a shocking turn as Christian commits suicide in front of his colleagues, leaving the audience and characters shaken. Before his death, he had been fixated on a cold case involving the death of a young woman, Albert Schneider, found dead years earlier under unusual circumstances. Enter Department Q. Detective Carl Mørck, head of Department Q, which handles cold cases, is drawn into the investigation due to a cryptic connection. Christian had desperately tried to contact Carl for months before his death, and his name is found written on Christian's hand after the suicide. Accompanied by his team members, Rose Knudsen and Assad, Carl travels to the island of Bornholm, where Christian lived, to delve deeper into the circumstances leading to his demise. Christian's obsession with the unresolved death of Albert Schneider becomes evident. Albert was found hanging from a tree, and though the case was dismissed as a traffic accident, Christian believed there was more to it. His fixation cost him his relationships, his career, and ultimately his mental stability. Exploring Christian's life. The team explores Christian's home and personal effects, uncovering a treasure trove of documents, photographs, and notes related to the Albert Schneider case. The evidence reveals a meticulous, though possibly paranoid, attempt by Christian to find justice for Albert. They also encounter Christian's troubled son, Jarkey, who has struggled with addiction and mental health issues for years. Tragically, Jarkey is later found dead from an apparent overdose, intensifying the family's tragedy. Interviews with locals reveal that Albert was connected to a spiritual community called the Osiris Academy, led by the charismatic yet enigmatic Atu and his partner Perjo. The Academy, shrouded in mysticism and teachings about light and energy, emerges as a potential hub for manipulation and darker deeds. Albert had spent time with the group before her death, and her artistic depictions of animals and abstract spirituality suggest a deep emotional entanglement. Uncovering connections. As Carl and his team dig deeper, they unravel a web of secrets. The Academy's teachings attract vulnerable individuals seeking solace but seem to demand an unsettling level of submission. One of the Academy's current members, Wanda, is reported missing and later found dead near a cliff, under circumstances eerily reminiscent of Albert's demise. Suspicion grows around the Academy's role in these deaths, particularly its leaders' influence on their followers. Carl also grapples with personal revelations during the investigation. He discovers that Jarkey might have been his son from a past relationship with June, Christian's ex-wife. This revelation adds a layer of personal guilt and responsibility, motivating Carl to seek closure not only for the case but also for his own unresolved past. A dangerous cult. Rose infiltrates the Osiris Academy, posing as a new member to gather intelligence. She encounters Perjo, who presents a facade of kindness and wisdom but subtly manipulates those under her influence. Through her covert efforts, Rose uncovers evidence of psychological abuse and exploitation within the Academy. Meanwhile, Assad and Carl work to connect the Academy to a series of unexplained deaths and disappearances. The investigation intensifies when it is revealed that Albert's death may have been a ritualistic killing orchestrated by the Academy's leaders. Evidence points to the use of drugs, coercion, and staged accidents to silence those who threaten the group's secrecy. The team learns that Christian's relentless pursuit of the truth had made him a target, and his death might have been a result of orchestrated psychological manipulation rather than pure despair. The climactic confrontation. As Carl, Rose, and Assad close in on the Academy's leaders, tension reaches a boiling point. Atu and Perjo attempt to maintain their control over their followers while deflecting the police's inquiries. The investigation culminates in a harrowing confrontation at the Academy's secluded compound, where the team exposes the leaders' crimes and their roles in Albert and Wanda's deaths. In a moment of poetic justice, the Academy's influence begins to crumble as its followers realize the extent of the manipulation. Carl faces off with Atu, embodying the very principles of justice and loyalty that Christian had spoken of before his tragic end. Resolution and reflection. The movie concludes with a bittersweet resolution. The Osiris Academy is dismantled, and its leaders face justice. Carl comes to terms with his role in Jarkey's life, finding some solace in the knowledge that he can honor his memory by continuing to seek justice for those who cannot speak for themselves. Christian's legacy, though marred by tragedy, is redeemed as his efforts uncover the truth and bring peace to Albert's family. The haunting yet cathartic narrative of the Boundless delves into themes of obsession, justice, and the human cost of seeking the truth. It is a gripping exploration of how the past shapes the present, the dangers of unchecked power, and the enduring fight against darkness in its many forms. Following the dismantling of the Osiris Academy, the emotional toll of the investigation becomes evident. Carl, haunted by the realization that he unknowingly had a son in Jarkey, struggles with regret and a sense of loss. His interactions with June reveal a complicated history and the devastating consequences of missed opportunities and unresolved conflicts. This personal angle adds depth to Carl's character, highlighting the heavy price that those in law enforcement often pay in their personal lives. Rose, meanwhile, finds herself deeply shaken by her undercover experience within the cult. The psychological manipulation she witnessed and endured exposes vulnerabilities she had buried, forcing her to confront her own fears and insecurities. Her resilience, however, shines through as she channels this trauma into a renewed determination to bring justice to those harmed by the Academy. Assad serves as a grounding presence for both Carl and Rose, offering wisdom and emotional support as they process the events. Exploring the cult's dark underbelly, further investigations reveal more about the Osiris Academy's sinister operations. The group had been exploiting its followers for financial gain under the guise of spiritual enlightenment. Atu and Purjo's charismatic control over their disciples allowed them to isolate vulnerable individuals, use coercion, and even orchestrate violent acts disguised as accidents or spiritual rituals. The Academy's so-called purification process, a cornerstone of its teachings, is revealed to have involved psychological torment, forced confessions, and the administration of hallucinogenic substances. This process, framed as a path to spiritual awakening, often resulted in mental breakdowns and compliance, enabling the leaders to maintain control and silence dissenters. The investigators uncover a chilling connection between the Academy and Albert's death. It becomes evident that she had uncovered some of the darker truths about the group and was attempting to leave when she was silenced. Wanda's recent death mirrors Albert's fate, suggesting that the Academy's leaders followed a pattern of eliminating those who posed a threat to their power. Carl's journey of redemption. As Carl reflects on the case, he revisits key moments from his past, particularly his relationship with June and their shared history. The revelation about Jarkey forces Carl to confront his tendency to prioritize his work over personal relationships, a pattern that has defined much of his life. While he cannot change the past, the experience motivates him to seek balance and connection in the present. This introspection also leads Carl to reassess his approach to leadership within Department Q. He begins to value his team's strengths and perspectives more deeply, recognizing that their collective efforts are what make the pursuit of justice possible. This growth underscores the film's broader themes of accountability and collaboration. Rose's evolution. Rose's arc in the film is one of empowerment and resilience. Her infiltration of the Osiris Academy required immense courage, and her ability to endure the psychological challenges she faced speaks to her strength. By the end of the film, Rose emerges as a more confident and assertive investigator, having proven her capability in the face of adversity. Her bond with Carl and Assad deepens as they acknowledge the sacrifices each has made for the sake of their work. The camaraderie within the team provides a sense of hope and stability amidst the chaos of their profession. The legacy of justice. The resolution of the case brings a sense of closure for the victims' families and the community of Bornholm. Christian Habersaw's efforts, though ultimately destructive to his personal life, are vindicated as the truth behind Albert's death comes to light. His legacy serves as a reminder of the importance of persistence and integrity in the face of overwhelming odds. For the residents of Bornholm, the exposure of the Osiris Academy's crimes becomes a turning point, prompting reflection on how such an organization was able to take root in their community. The film leaves viewers with questions about the vulnerability of individuals and societies to manipulation and the importance of vigilance in protecting justice and human dignity. Final reflection. The Boundless is a multifaceted narrative that weaves together themes of justice, obsession, redemption, and the human capacity for resilience. Through its compelling characters and intricate plot, the film explores the psychological and emotional dimensions of police work, shedding light on the personal sacrifices made by those who dedicate their lives to seeking the truth. The haunting imagery of Albert's death and the symbolic destruction of the Osiris Academy linger long after the credits roll, serving as a testament to the enduring struggle against darkness and the unyielding pursuit of light. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.